The NFL has no answer for what the Kansas City Chiefs are doing. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Kansas City Chiefs news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is, the NFL hates the Kansas City Chiefs for dominating the league and making it to another Super Bowl. There's a constant, unwavering cycle in American sports. We love you when you're on the way up. We applaud you when you reach the top. We hate you when you stay there too long. Welcome, Kansas City Chiefs, to the loathing zone. You were a cute story before, but now America is tired of you. Your star quarterback, your teddy bear-looking coach, your celebrity girlfriend, and most of all, your constant presence in the Super Bowl. Congratulations, Kansas City, you're the new Patriots. The NFL is always more fun when the league has a common enemy, and for nearly 20 years, the New England Patriots happily filled that role, reaching Super Bowls in nearly half those seasons and winning 6 of them. Kansas City is on a path to that kind of success, 4 Super Bowls in 5 years, with 2 already won and a 3rd possibly just days away. Now that is how you get everyone else to hate you. Granted, the Chiefs can't yet manage the bone-deep rage and disgust that the Patriots inspired in their day, where Tom Brady looked like a throwback to the 80s movie jock who stuffed nerds in lockers. Patrick Mahomes vibes and sounds a whole lot like those same nerds, albeit a nerd with the ability to throw a football into orbit. In their respective commercials, which of course is how we judge our athletes' image these days. Brady always comes off like an ex-high school bully playing nice for the cameras, while Mahomes never seems quite comfortable enough in his own skin to torment anyone else. And then there's the sideline. While Bill Belichick glowered through every glorious Super Bowl run, Andy Reid just gives off a more genial vibe, from his frozen mustache to his amiable doofus TV persona. Reid has the steel of a lethal coach, thanking the people of Baltimore for their hospitality after beating them on their own field. Sunday was a wicked jab, but he doesn't remind you of a never-satisfied boss or distant, disapproving father. Still, what the Chiefs do is win. And not just win, but win in a way that breaks your heart, win in a way that makes you wonder why you even bother trying at all. Nice little regular season you had there, Miami. Now welcome to frozen hell. Want revenge on us for 13 seconds, Buffalo? Not this year. So you're the likely MVP, Lamar? Yeah, we'll be intercepting those desperation passes now. Thanks for playing. The Patriots used to do this, and so did other dynasties led by all-time icons. The 90s Chicago Bulls, for instance, come to mind. There's an entire generation of NBA players who don't have a championship ring because of Michael Jordan's enduring dominance. Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, and Karl Malone, and you don't have to look far to see the 2020's NFL equivalent. How many Super Bowls would Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson pile up if Mahomes had decided to play baseball? Finally, there is, of course, the Taylor Swift thing. This is as perfect a case of internet life cycle as you'll ever find. Star gets exposure, people complain about star's exposure, but keep clicking on stories about said star. Star gets more exposure, people complain more but continue to tune in, and on it goes. The NFL is, and always has been, a league of stories more than scores, a league where narrative is as important as what happens on the field. Otherwise, why have 2 weeks of downtime before the Super Bowl? Why flood the zone with media coverage in the days leading up to the game? Swift would have gotten all of the same coverage had she been dating a member of, say, the Carolina Panthers, except that her January and February would be wide open. No serious argument exists against Swift's overexposure. She's the most popular entertainer in the world at the moment, of course, as she's going to draw the camera's eye every game. Besides, would the Swift haters rather see yet another shot of a team owner celebrating? Who cares if this is all a carefully choreographed production for the cameras? Unless and until the cameras on Swift interrupt actual gameplay, broadcast away, and forget the haters. Here's the thing with hate, though. It's not rational, and it doesn't respond to logical arguments. In the abstract, the Chiefs are a joy to watch, led by a quarterback who might already be among the game's all-time greats. As long as you're not on the receiving end, it's pretty amazing to see the way they find another gear in the postseason and then use that gear to crumble skulls into the dirt. You just kind of wish it didn't happen so often is all. Had the Detroit Lions managed to win Sunday, there would be no doubt which team America would favor in the Super Bowl. the 49ers aren't exactly a hard-luck, happy-to-be-here franchise. But if the Chiefs manage to win, expect the Kansas City fatigue to hit new highs in the 2024 season. It's the price of victory in America. The second story is, the Mahomes Effect grows by adaptation as Chiefs reach fourth Super Bowl in 5 years. Someday, this mesmerizing, magical mystery tour the Chiefs somehow keep adding dates to will fade out or burst or otherwise disappear. But for the foreseeable future anyway, the only thing inevitable is Patrick Mahomes and his indomitable will, a force of various shapes and dimensions that all contour to one destination, winning. To be sure, Mahomes hardly was the only reason the Chiefs on Sunday beat favored Baltimore 17-10 to advance to their fourth Super Bowl in 5 years and sustain their hopes of becoming the first NFL team to repeat as champion in nearly 2 decades. In fact, nothing mattered more than the defense that stifled another of the league's top offenses and generated 3 turnovers. That was primarily why a day that was supposedly to be about some sort of succession from Mahomes to Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson instead was about the Lamar Hunt Trophy staying in the hands of the franchise Hunt founded. But the game still reiterated how everything has changed for the Chiefs and, really, Kansas City since the advent of Mahomes. And why it's not wise, as general manager Brett Veach put it afterward, to poke the bear with doubts or slights about him or his team after a regular season marked by a dramatic reduction in points scored and criticism of a receiving corps that led the league in dropped passes. Doubt at your own peril, especially since Mahomes seems to have an internal mechanism that converts it to fuel that he's learned to harness in new ways. Through Mahomes' instant rise to the top of the NFL when he took over in 2018 and the annual tweaks and iterations, the most recent of which we'll come right back to, the Chiefs now are 14-3 in the postseason in games he's played. Only Tom Brady and Joe Montana have had their name on the ledger for more playoff wins than the 28-year-old Mahomes, who owns the best quarterback rating in postseason history. When I asked Veach on Sunday about the constant in this equation that Mahomes has provided, Veach at first was at a rare loss for words. "You can't describe it. He's a legend," he said. "I mean, it's a blessing that he's part of this organization, and he's the best." A moment later, he spoke to the essence of Mahomes' presence for not just the organization but for millions of Chiefs fans over the decades. He gives everyone that belief and hope that it doesn't matter what the odds are, where we're playing, where we're going. If we have 15 under center, we have a shot. For that matter, it seems evident that the Mahomes effect is invasive across the field. By now, he has to lurk in the heads of Buffalo, which is 0-3 against Mahomes in the postseason, including the instant's 13-second game and last week's 27-24 loss. And you can bet there was a psychological onus on the Ravens after Mahomes calmly and flawlessly drove the Chiefs 86 and 75 yards for touchdowns on their first 2 drives. The statement sequence featured a terrific Travis Kelce touchdown catch and Mahomes' whirl-away scramble for another in the uncanny ad-lib catalog to Kelce to set up an Isaiah Pacheco TD run. As he tried to describe the challenge of containing Mahomes, Baltimore linebacker Patrick Queen thought about the way Mahomes not only can make all the throws, but also has the confounding ability to buy time. For all the emphasis the Ravens put on limiting that, he added, there were times when he just did what he does. There's a certain sense of resignation in those words, though Chiefs receiver Rashee Rice put the dynamic more bluntly. Punched a bully in the face. A bully's never been punched in the face before. Sandwiched in between that start and the late 32-yard pass to Marquez Valdes-Scantling that sealed the outcome was the more practical than spectacular version of Mahomes, a mindset that goes against every impulse he has, but vital to the complementary football the Chiefs have learned to play because of their commanding defense. The third story is Travis Kelce praised for leadership as Kansas City Chiefs punch tickets to Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs offense was far from great in Sunday's win over the Baltimore Ravens, but it was great when it needed to be. As things turned out, all the visitors required were their first half points to defeat the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship game. Patrick Mahomes' greatness contributed to the win, with tight end Travis Kelce going right alongside him. While the former was efficient, the latter stepped up big time in his most critical outing of the 2023-24 campaign. Kelce, known for bringing excitement and energy to the team, certainly did so on Sunday at M&T Bank Stadium. After the game, head coach Andy Reid tipped his cap to his star tight end for being ready to go and bringing everyone along with him. "Listen, Travis is always fired up," Reid said. "He's always fired up, but with the playoffs, he's even more so. I never worry about him being ready to go. He's always right there and just brings that emotion to the guys. That just secure feeling that we're going to go get this thing no matter what. And don't think of anything opposite that we're going to get it. I appreciate his attitude always, and he's just added a little bit to it. I think that week off helped him, for him to be able to get a little bit of rest, get in there and go." Kelsey was targeted 11 times against the Ravens, hauling in every last one of those passes. He also logged 116 yards, his most since Week 7 against the Los Angeles Chargers.